Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. I'm here to share the finished journal. This is my design team project for ShabbyDabbyDooDah, and I had used about 5 or 6 kits of Tina's for this journal, and I used the same kits for my last design team project for Tina. And so I had so much, when you have 5 kits, you have a lot of papers and ephemera. So I wanted to show how you can do different things with the same papers. So I'm going to link the finished flip through of the last journal under this video, plus all of the kits I used. So let's just get started with a quick flip through here. This is the one where I kind of took on a little imagination of what would grandma do, a WWGD. I'm not going to repeat that a lot, but just to such, in case you didn't see my last video on this journal, I just thought about what would grandma do and what would she put in her journal. And I was imagining that I found this journal in my grandma's dresser, and so this is what it looked like. And this is not a true story at all. I just was totally just imagining this, but so just imagine with me. This is what I found in my grandma's journal, and she had it wrapped up like this because she didn't want anybody to, any prying eyes to invade her privacy. So she wrapped it up like this so no one would know what it was, and she stuck it underneath some clothes in her dresser. So when I pulled it out, this is what I found. It was wrapped up with a pretty little tie closure like this that was made with, it has a base of a muslin-like fabric, and then other fabrics were sewn onto here. So there's 5 running stitches going through the fabrics here in different pieces. There's little pieces of almost like a doily, pieces of a doily here. Different fabrics. These roses are from a doily. Some fabric, actual fabric. This is from a tea towel right here, a calendar tea towel. Let's see, and so I'll just show you real quick the whole thing. Kind of just, it repeats, the fabrics and little pieces repeat throughout the whole. Here's part of the date on the tea towel, it was 1985. I didn't get the 85 on here, it doesn't look like, but it was a 1985 vintage tea towel. This one was messed up. I have one still in my shop, one of these 1985 tea towels. It's actually not a towel, it's more like a tea towel calendar. It was a long and narrow, kind of different than a regular tea towels that actually are in the shape of a towel, like a dish towel. So yeah, so one, I had gotten a few of those, and one was kind of messed up, so that one's the one I used to cut up. I didn't cut up the ones that were in good condition. I put those in my shop. So that was wrapped around grandma's journal. And then she had made this little crochet kind of an envelope to put her journal in, also to keep prying eyes out. And this was made from a vintage doily like table placemat. So it's sewn up the sides here, and then I added, or grandma added, a little button here. And it just it buttons through a hole that was already in this little placemat right here. So, and this is a vintage button, and so it just, I took the tip here. I can see that it just, see that it comes to a little point right here, and I just use that to go over the button. And it's got some extra room in here, so you can wrap the closure around and get it into this little envelope, but I did it both ways. I had it both ways, and for the video I just put it outside. I thought that would be easier. Here's what the little envelope bag looks like without the journal in it. You can see it's real pretty. It has 2 circles and a bunch of circles on the back. A real pretty one. I think I have 2 or 3 of these, and this is the first time I've used one, so I thought this was really a fun use of it. so here's the journal. This is the cover where it has a postcard, vintage postcard on the front, some beautiful upholstery sample, and some pretty vintage lace. And it's all sewn together with some zigzag stitching. Here's the back. Love the colors in this upholstery, or it might be, I'm saying upholstery, it's some kind of a sample like upholstery, or it could have even been curtain fabric samples or something. It's kind of a thick fabric is why I'm calling it upholstery. So here is where we get into starting to use the digital kit, and I use Tina's Birdhouse and Birds Kit is one of the kits I use. And here's a beautiful page here. I've got a piece of vintage lace right here, and then this is a little tab here that I sewed on, which was I got in Happy Mail from Dale McBay. She's Not Too Shabby Chic on YouTube, and it was pink, and it just was so pretty to go with this journal, so I wanted to add that there. And then I made some paper clips out of some of this kind of really pretty ribbon here, and the colors went along so well with the journal. Actually, I got this in I think I got that in Happy Mail, didn't I? If I look back, I'll know, but I believe I got that in Happy Mail recently. And then it was sitting here, and I was like, oh, that's the perfect color for this journal. So I cut it up because it had a knot in the middle that I didn't undo, and I cut it off, I think. And then I ended up cutting it up and making little paper clips. So that was fun. So here, Grandma added a little postcard, one of her favorite postcards. It says, "With my love," has its pretty picture on the front. And I don't know if it's vintage or not, but it looks like it could be. Is there a year on here? No, there's no date on here, but yeah, that was just a pretty postcard, and it goes along with the colors in the journal. Really pretty. This is a little Tim Holtz piece sewed onto this flip out here. This is Rit dyed paper. I had some burgundy Rit dye left from another project, a clothing dyeing project, and I used the leftovers for dyeing paper. So that's what you can do if you're dyeing something with Rit dye. You can use your leftovers, and I think I added water to it. Well, you add water to it to dye your clothing anyway, but anyway, yes, I still have some of that I need to use up. So, and this is a page from, let's see, this is from one of the kits. This is, she has a couple of invoice kits that I used in here, and this is probably one from that. Really pretty, if you can see the numbers and the writing, handwriting on there, and just the coloring. I did coffee dye anything that had a blank back. I coffee dyed. This is a paper bag. I wanted a nice place to tuck in lots of things, so that's why I put a paper bag in here. It's decorated with a piece from the kit on both sides, and on this side, this actually, as a reminder, I accidentally printed out some of the pages from one of the kits in black and white. It was supposed to be color, and somehow my printer got on black and white when I was printing in color, and this happened, and it's so cool. I'm gonna have to remember to do that again because it came out really vintage looking. I coffee dyed the back, so it has, I think this is from the coffee dye, this little bit of darkness over here and around the edges. And then I added a little, this is, I made some glue stick wax seals, but this one is actually wax. So this is a little wax seal. I thought it went together so well with the colors on this page. Then over here, going back to what Grandma did, well, I added a little a little rubber stamp here, and Grandma added this lace right here with a little key that she wanted to keep that goes to her diary where she keeps her really private stuff under lock and key, and she put her key right here so nobody would know how to open her journal or be able to find her diary and know how to open her diary. So she put a little bulb pin here with that special key on it, and this lace is sewn on. And on the other side of that page, there's some extra coffee dyed paper. This is the back of that, digital page, which is coffee dyed, and then there's this paper is sewn on with a hinge here, and so this is several sheets of coffee dyed paper with a piece from the kit, and you can see the sewing right there. This, I believe, is, if I remember right, this is avocado dyed graph paper, and then a piece from the kit with some vintage tatting, and this is very old tatting that I had talked about before that I got from my friend that used to live down the street, and she was about, I'm gonna guess she's 70 when she moved, and she said her mother made it. So, you know, no telling how old this tatting is, but very special. I haven't really parted with much of it, and so I thought, well, I need to start using, you know, I can't just keep it forever, right? I got a little pocket here with a pretty lady. This I believe I got in Happy Mail, and I thought she was so pretty, and Grandma kind of like admired her fashion sense here of this fashionable, stylish lady, that she wanted to keep that in her journal. And it is a tag with some of that pretty ribbon on it, and it just went together well with the colors. This is coffee dyed ledger paper, and this is where Grandma added a couple of pieces of her favorite little fabric and lace, very old lace here, and it folds over. The fabric is sewn on there, and it has a little pin with a piece of broken jewelry from Grandma's jewelry, and she wanted to keep this piece, and so she just pinned it right there with a black, safety pin right there. So this is coffee dye paper. This is coffee dye paper from the kit, actually, and then I coffee dyed the back of it. Doily, and this is a piece I received in Happy Mail, and I tucked a little journaling card up in under that, and just pretty little pink rose on there, and I thought that went with the journal. And this is a beautiful little cluster here that I received from V in Happy Mail. And here's a pocket here with a few pieces. I really tried to stuff this full of things that Grandma would put in here. So here's an old index card, and actually it was coffee dyed, and I did some stenciling on it. Not really old, just old looking, right? I made it to look old. So this is a bookmark that I received with this little rose charm and these pretty fibers from, I believe I received that from V in Happy Mail, and it went so well with this journal that I added it to here. This is the button envelope, that's extra button envelope that I added to this pocket. This I left the string and the pin that came on it from the original, you know, when it was pinned to something, whatever the extra buttons went to, right? And I put in here a little journaling card that is a piece from the kit, and it fit in there perfectly, so that's in there to do something with. This is a pretty page here. I've got some lace on this pretty page. This has lines, and it's just beautiful from the kit, coffee dyed here. This is a little vellum pocket that I also received in Happy Mail, sewed onto this music paper, a music page. Another pretty index card there. This is a tag made from pieces from the kit, and most of my ephemera is backed with file folder, so it's nice and strong and sturdy to do whatever with. This is a receipt from the digital kits, so pretty, right? Or an invoice from one of the kits I used was invoices, like I said, and this is a pretty, look at that rose on there. Isn't that beautiful? I just love those invoices. I love stuff like that. It's so pretty. So those three pieces are in that pocket. This is, I guess I said that's sewn on. This is, let's see, I think this is pink dyed composition book paper, so it folds out. I've got a pretty little bird playing card here sewn on pages from the kit. This is the center where I have sewn on some of that pink tatting that I recently picked up. If you saw my most recent, I don't know if it was this week or last week, where I showed you the pink tatting that I got from the antique store. So I put some right here, and that is sewn on. And then I used burgundy wax cord to bind this journal, and on the strings here I have a little butterfly there. It's like a bronze or antique brass, and then this is also a little dragonfly on that one. So, and those I put pretty much the smallest ones I had on there, so it wouldn't add any bulk to the journal. So coffee dyed papers, beautiful page from the kit, another one of the birds. So this is the back half. Might be able to go a little faster here, but I do have quite a bit of ephemera in these pockets. So another pretty journaling card and a playing card to have fun with. And this is a pretty tuck spot here that I made from a piece that I received in Happy Mail from V. And there's some lace there. And now here, let's see, did I show you? Yeah, I showed you the postcard. So under this paper clip, another one of the paper clips, I have this heart doily that I received in Happy Mail recently from V. And then this was a piece that Grandma put in here where she was saving some of her favorite postage stamps and postmarks, and she put them all on this piece of paper, which is it's an index, backs with index cards, so it has some nice light lines to write on, and then it's sewn on. And I left the strings here so that, you know, if you don't like those, you can cut them off, but if you do, there you go, you've got some strings. And that was paper clipped right here, I believe. Let me stick that back on here really quick, and there we go. So beautiful, one of the beautiful invoices. There's a pocket here, and I decorated all the pockets. I probably haven't really shown you, but with the pieces from the kit, or this is just a piece of ephemera that I had that I liked the numbers and things on here, so I put that on that pocket. But all the pockets are decorated with something, and maybe a little bird or flower like this one from the kits that I fussy cut out. So that was fun. And this one, I think most of them are sewn on the side here. Here, this is a tuck spot. This another one from V. Those little pretty little pieces I got from V. This is a calendar page that's decorated, and plenty of places to write there. And there's plenty of page. You know, I like to leave a lot of space on the pages too to write or glue in your favorite things. There's a couple of envelopes here you can have fun with, decorate, or keep some special treasures in those. Glue them in somewhere. There's the back half of the doily. And Grandma put some of her favorite pattern paper in here to have fun with. And this is the paper part of it, and this is the tissue part of it. So that is paper clipped right here. Just all kinds of, I tried to think of all kind of fun goodies that Grandma would stick in here as her favorite things, you know. So let me see. Yeah, I'm doing that right. It feels thick, but that's a whole, the whole piece of paper there from a pattern. Okay, and that is, that was attached to, well, yeah, I'm attaching 2 pages here. That's what I think I'm doing wrong. There we go. So isn't this beautiful? Here, this is a piece from the kit, one of the kits, one of Tina's kits. Isn't that awesome? I love that. And coffee dye ledger. Here's another pretty pocket. And in here, I've got a score sheet and a couple of just pretty note papers that can be written on. And another piece from the kit that's backed with the file folder and sewn around. I think I tried to sew around most of those so that they'll be nice and solid. This is another neat little, this is actually a bridge score sheet that's long and narrow. I'm trying to see which way is up. This way is up. But isn't that neat? I found these one time and in a thrift store, and I thought those were so cool. And a postcard with some pretty lace on the top. That's a vintage postcard for sure. I don't have a date on it, but I know it's vintage. And I think I got that in Happy Mail too. So let's see. Oh, okay. So we've got a flip up here, which is also a tuck spot. And in here, and another envelope. But that envelope goes along with this cute little card. It's kittens or cats amongst the flowers there, and it's so neat because it's, see how it's fussy cut here? It's not, this is how it came. It's just really neat little card. And there you go. It's just a little card like that. I thought that was so cute. Anyway, that's in here to have fun with. And Grandma put that in there. And then some of the little, well, this is a library card catalog card, and it's decorated with a flower here and then some bits on the back, a piece of trim sewn on there, and just a fun little card. And then this is an envelope, I believe, yeah. A little envelope made from one of the invoices, decorated with one of the little postage stamps from the kit, and it has that beautiful flower on it there. And that's just made from one of the invoices. We might have made that together in the last video, I'm not sure. Okay, so here's the double belly band. I think I poked several things in here. So let me see what I did put in here. Okay, so this was underneath the back part. This is made from a time card with some fabric, and it's all sewn together, like it's sewn here and here. And then before I sewed it on to the page, I sewed this fabric on there as a, you know, the second piece where you could tuck things. So this was tucked underneath the back here. And this is some pretty stationery that Grandma put in here. Just several pieces to do whatever, write or, you know, cut up or glue in somewhere as a flip out. And then this is a little divider card from Grandma's recipe box that she decorated. She sewed on this piece and made it all nice and pretty. So that's under there, like a journaling card or whatever. And this is a card that Grandma tucked in here that she wanted to save for a special someone. So that is tucked under the second layer of the belly band here. And then this is a little journaling card with a little piece of an invoice there sewn on with the cardstock on the back. So that's all tucked in there. And it's a pretty page graph here. This is the seed envelope that I received in Happy Mail. I didn't decorate it too much because I just love the lines here and the color of it. So I just added this little piece. And then here's all these lines on the back. And then I didn't want to cover any of that up. I just love it so much. And then 3x5 Rolodex card here, decorated with some pieces from the kit. And this is a vintage Rolodex card. So that is, you know, that I got some of those at a thrift store and some of those from Aaliyah DePina in Happy Mail. So, and then here's this is a piece of the time card that I used for the belly band. This is the bottom part that I didn't use. I just made that into a journaling card with a little collage here and distressed the edges, and that came out really pretty. So that's a journaling card. This is also just was using up some scraps and a little birdhouse on top and sewed around it, and that's another little journaling card there. So yeah, I used up all my scraps in this journal with, you know, that I had from this journal in this journal. So here's the back half of the bag. And oh, I don't think I showed you everything that was in the front other bag. I'll have to go back. But if I have time, that might be a surprise if I don't have time. But here's another piece of that pretty black and white paper that I coffee dyed. On the back also a piece from the kit. And then in this bag I have, this has a glassine bag with all the little bits that I didn't use from the kit. All the little bits I put in here, all the little pieces that of the ephemera that I didn't use. So there's a lot in here. If you can see all of this, little birdhouses and flowers and little, you know, invoices and postage stamps. I see a bulb pin in there, so all kinds of little things in there to have fun with. And this was another envelope that I made from an invoice from, you know, the digital kits. So pretty. And this is a little journaling card that's in there, sewn around. So look at that. I love those flowers. I can't get over how bright and pretty and vibrant those colors are. So let me see what time it is, see if I'm going to have time to go back. Oh, I lost my timer. Okay, never mind. Hopefully this won't end, but we're going to go back. We'll finish real quick so we can go back to the other envelope. So digital page here, the Rit dyed with this is just a pretty piece I had that I sewed on there. This is a flip up, flip down. It's got a ticket here to help weigh it down, help weigh down the little flap. And you can write in there. And then on the back here, I just have paper clipped a pretty card that I believe I just got this. No, I've had this for a little while. That's right. I looked through my cards and I wanted to find a card that I thought would be nice in here. And this is a vintage little Christmas card. And I just like the colors to go with this journal too, of that with the red and green on there. But it's a really cute one. And then here's the back with the paper and some vintage lace there. Oh, and I did put a little eyelet here in case you want to hang something from here. It's right here, a little eyelet, metal eyelet. And then so the front bag, I didn't tell you that I put in here all the other bits, a bunch of other bits. There is a recipe card that Grandma put in here, one of her favorite recipes. So she put that in there. And then I can get it back in there. And then, well, I don't want to waste time, so I'll put it right there for now. But these are all the other little bits that weren't tiny. You know what I mean? So all of these are also things that I didn't use that I am including in this pocket. And then I'll have another goodie bag where I didn't want to, you know, you can see after I added ephemera, it got kind of chunky. So I didn't want to put any more in there. So here's all the rest of the stuff I couldn't fit in there that I'm going to include in a separate little bag. But all of these little invoices here with the pretty flowers on them will come along. Some other pieces that I've sewn, journaling cards and things, so pretty. And yeah, these are all sewn, and this is a flash card that I decorated. So that is all coming along. So with this journal, it's already in my shop. You get all of this, the crochet envelope, and the pretty little tie closure. So I really had fun with this one, making the extra things like this tie closure. I just started making these, and I'm addicted now, kind of obsessed, and just really had fun trying to figure out what Grandma would put in here, and that was a lot of fun. I want to do that again with some of my other journals in the future. So thanks for watching tonight. I will see y'all next time, and happy crafting.